Hello, Cosmic Witches. Welcome back to another episode of the Divine Gossip Girls with me, your host, Maggie, and Sophie and Karlie. We have another monthly forecast for you, this time for the month of April. Karlie's going to be doing sort of an energetic update for you using tarot and channeling and all that good stuff with some crystals and everything. And then I am going to be giving you what's going on cosmically, what's going on up there in the stars, and how that could affect your energy, how to best align with it for easiest flow through the month. And then Sophie, because it's so much energy, so much to go off of, Sophie will tie it up with a nice little bow by giving you embodiment practices, journal questions, mantras, all of that fun stuff, so you know how you can move forwards with it. Remember to grab a journal and write all of this down, or whatever resonates with you down. However, I would really just encourage you to write down what you can and reflect back on it throughout the month, because we could be saying you're going to be really abundant, and yeah, you don't feel abundant right now at the start of the month, but that doesn't mean you can't step into it. That doesn't mean that's not how you're going to feel later. So just write it down and keep reflecting throughout the month and see how you can kind of get a little bit more in flow with your energy and in flow with the energy around you for April. So let's just jump right into it with Karlie taking it away. Hey Cosmic Witches! Divine Gossip Girls here, your one and only source into the spiritual happenings of the cosmos.
Ever wonder what this month's energy will have in store for you? What the planets and stars are even up to? Or if the universe can just help you catch a break already?
Well, lucky you, because we have all the spiritual secrets to tell. Get ready to sip on your weekly dose of divine tea. All right, love. So as Maggie mentioned, make sure you just kind of ask your intuition to guide you with what is feeling like it resonates the most for you. I'll be touching into collective themes, so you can kind of just, tune into what really resonates for you and leave what doesn't. But as I was channeling the energy for April, I felt as though the themes that I channeled were building off of one another. So you may notice kind of the themes of theme 1, 2, and 3 be things that build off of each other. It's also 1, 2, 2, 2 right now. As I looked at the clock, it just changed, but maybe 1222 is a number that is in alignment with you for April. So maybe you want to look into the meaning of that. But as I began to channel this energy, I received the image of butterflies taking flight. So that kind of made me tune into the energy. It was also blue butterflies. So kind of that angelic frequency, and also the frequency of the throat chakra. So beginning to harness what it is that you are kind of building within, that awareness you are building within, into your reality. So the throat chakra is a powerful chakra of manifestation, and also speaking into existence what it is that you desire, and really beginning to get the wheels turning in the direction of bringing those desires, those dreams into fruition, into your reality. So the energetic undertone was excitement and also kind of anxious energy, that feeling of kind of just nervousness of like, what's coming next? What's going on? I felt a lot of like heart fluttering and like that kind of fluttering up into the throat center. So with our first theme coming through, we had the theme of multiple downloads, multiple opportunities, and options being presented. So this came through with the 7 of Cups. And the 7 of Cups is all about ideas, dreams, imagination being heightened at this time. So this is really going to be, especially at the beginning of the month, maybe this is a theme for you in different ways, in different areas of your life throughout the month. But it's this idea that there's going to be a lot of things presented to you in different forms. And sometimes we can feel a bit overwhelmed when a lot of ideas are coming through, or, our imagination is really strong and we're like, okay, like getting all these downloads, creating these visions. But you have to be cautious here of getting wrapped up too much in the ideas for too long without taking action. So you may, if you're noticing yourself being overwhelmed by these options, allowing yourself to narrow them down, and also allow yourself to address the fears that are keeping you from taking action and making choices so that you can really begin to ground your dreams and those big visions into your reality. If you're noticing yourself being held back from taking action out of fear of, oh, what if I make the wrong choice? Or what if there's something that's actually better for me? Know that you are always being guided to your highest timeline. And it doesn't necessarily matter what choice you make as long as it feels good for you in that moment, because what comes next will bring you the clarity you need of, was this the right option or was it not? And sometimes it's more about taking action versus always just sitting in the wondering of why. So you may notice yourself kind of with this first theme being wrapped up in more of, okay, lots of opportunities, lots of options. Which one do I take? But notice that in just the waiting game, you start to just kind of sit in that energy of overwhelm and uncertainty, which brings us into theme number 2, which is uncertainty in the question of, what path do I take? And this came through with the magician in reverse. So there's this collective theme of uncertainty coming through. You may feel a bit unsure about what choice to make or path to pursue, which once again, this is kind of feeding off of theme 1 that I already kind of touched into, as you're having a lot of options being presented. But with the magician reverse, this is your sign to take time to remember your heart's desires, really lean into your spirit and what brings you a sense of fulfillment and satisfaction for direction. So once again, if you're feeling overwhelmed and you're really uncertain, you're like, which path? Ask your heart, tune into your heart, tune into your spirit for what will bring that sense of fulfillment. And you have really a powerful inner compass that will assist you in tapping and harnessing your power to turn your wishes into reality, which is so much of what the magician is bringing you. It's bringing you that reminder of, if you're feeling a bit uncertain, just know that this is a beautiful time for you to remember that you have the power to make a choice. So we kind of have that energy of, okay, what path do I take? But also the remembrance that you have the power within you as a conscious creator to make choices and then see the outcome, and then as a result, make choices that are a result of what you just learned from making that choice. And then finally, we're going to round out with the theme of determination and focus. So this came through with the 8 of Pentacles, which is showing this is a time of hard work, focus, determination when it comes to the task at hand. And also the Knight of Pentacles, saying it's time to get practical, reliable, and really commit to whatever it is that you are committing to. So you're going to find yourself maybe at the end of the month, or all of a sudden as you gain more of that clarity and more of direction from your heart, that you are kind of committing to something. You're going to be going in full on into a project, a task, an avenue. And this is really the energy of determination and focus. So yes, although you may be sitting here like, oh my God, wait, this doesn't sound good. I'm going to be so overwhelmed. Or maybe you did feel overwhelmed even at the end of February. And some of these themes, although they're building in April, they're also themes that we've probably touched into in February as well. So just notice that, yes, maybe you're going to feel the uncertainty, but then the clarity is going to come as a result of you choosing to just finally take that action and harness your power. And as a result, you're really going to be noticing yourself feeling committed to pursuing that path and seeing it through and through. But make sure here, especially with the energy of both 8 of Pentacles and Knight of Pentacles, lots of like grounded working energy, that you are not overworking and overwhelming yourself. Patience is virtue. And just because you start something and it may not be going to plan does not mean that it's not going to end well. It's just that in those beginning stages, you got to learn the ropes. Things take time. It is within patience and the journey of things that you learn the lessons necessary for you to rise on that path. So with Knight of Pentacles, all about daily tasks, responsibility that one gains through a specific project. Just become aware if you get so focused in on that one thing that you lose touch with joy and abundance and the things that bring light and ease into your life. You need to remember that balance as well. So those are your 3 collective themes for April. Once again, multiple downloads coming in, options, knowing that this doesn't mean that you're going to feel overwhelmed forever. And then theme 2, that uncertainty. What path do I take? But then also harnessing your power, reminding yourself that you have that powerful inner compass guiding you. And then finally, theme number 3, determination and focus. So we'll go ahead and tune into our astrological forecast now. So Maggie, take it away.
All right. So for the astrological forecast for April, I just wanted to remind you guys right off the bat that transits are not just the singular day. The date that I give you is the day that it starts, but a lot of transits last for weeks, months, years sometimes. For example, a Jupiter transit's going to be a full year, or a Pluto transit is going to be like 12, 13, 14 years. It's going to be a long time. So you don't have to do it all on the day I give you, but rather know that this is the energy we're shifting into. And even if it's just for a few weeks, understanding what that means for you so you can align with that a little bit easier, just to make your life a little bit easier so that you can embody the energy that's easiest for you to embody. So starting off with April 1st, very first day, April Fools from the cosmos, Mercury retrograde begins. So Mercury retrograde definitely has a lot of media hype and misinformation around there. You can't blame everything on Mercury retrograde, but it does make communication a lot more difficult. It's the sign of the mind and the communication moving backwards or standing still. So it does make that difficult with other people, but also technology flare-ups can happen during this time. It's really common. I find it happens to me all the time during Mercury retrograde. It's like painful sometimes, but it's just what we have to deal with. So this is not necessarily a time for big conversations. This isn't necessarily that time to pick a fight with someone because tensions are high, communication gets misconstrued. However, this is also happening during eclipse season. And in my opinion, this will make the retrograde feel even heavier and even more potent. Not to put a huge negative light on it, but our ego is going to be stronger because of the eclipse season that we're in during this time. And Mercury retrograde makes our inner critic become a little bit louder, even that, self-communication is a little bit more difficult. So just be easy on yourself and have things in place to remember the goals and the actions that you have to take during this time, because they say don't manifest during an eclipse, don't manifest during Mercury retrograde, some people will even say, but as long as you're clear beforehand, just don't change your course. It's similar to what Karlie was saying with her forecast. Just stay strong in your goals, in what you want to be doing. Don't lose that focus. Don't change your path just because your ego is being loud, because your inner critic is being loud. If you can have the strength to stay on track during this time, you're going to manifest even bigger, even faster, even grander. So then we move on to April 5th, Venus enters Aries. So this is a great time to initiate love in relationships. So like taking that initiative. This is often will bring fresh energy into love, but you may not fully feel this until after the eclipse season and again after Mercury retrograde, because there is that stagnancy with communication and within yourself a little bit. You will find you want to be in relationships really badly at this time, that you'll be chasing feelings of passion, but make sure it's truly what you want and not just that like thrill of the chase or a romanticized idea of what you're looking for. This can also cause blow-ups within certain relationships if it's not creating the picture you have in your mind or the passion that you feel like others have. This is your ego talking, especially when the moon is eclipsing and Mercury is in retrograde. Your ego is going to come up with Venus in Aries saying other people have it better, causing anger flare-ups sort of, but it's not true. It's not true. It's just you being in that energy, but it can be really beautiful for passion. It's just you have to find that balance. Then on April 8th, we have the solar eclipse / the new moon in Aries. This is new energy, upgrades, passion, new ideas, expansion, overcoming the ego and challenges, fire energy, creation. The full moon in Aries is typically already really potent for manifestation and quantum leaping, but now that it's part of the eclipse season, it's like a million times over. It's so potent. So a big manifesting ritual can be really important on this day, sitting in the energy of what you want, getting clear on your aligned action. And it's a great time for balancing that divine masculine and divine feminine, with the moon, feminine energy being out, and Aries with that masculine energy being what rules over the moon. Then we have April 19th. We have Taurus season beginning. So we have the sun in Taurus, which is grounding, stabilizing, abundance, values, sensuality, indulgence. This is a great time to plant roots and ground, especially after the roller coaster that is Aries season and eclipse season and all of that. And you can ground yourself even more once Mercury retrograde ends. You can start to focus on expanding in new ways, rooting into what you began creating and calling in during Aries season. Taurus is also stubborn, so use that to your advantage and stick to your goals no matter what others may say or think. This is a season where no one gets to tell you what to do or who to be. Then we have on April 23rd, we have a lot of transits this month, but April 23rd, the full moon in Scorpio. This is the first Scorpio full moon in a while, in a few years, that was not an eclipse. So enjoy the calmer energy this year. However, this is a moon of transformation, so you will still feel that. Use it to manifest and call in those last things that you wanted from eclipse season, especially if this is about an area of your life or about yourself transforming. A great question to ask yourself under this full moon is, how can you build stronger foundations and boundaries for yourself? Then we have April 25th, which is when Mercury retrograde ends. Woo-hoo. Mercury goes direct in Aries, and you should now start feeling the energy more of that Venus in Aries that we were talking about earlier. It should be lighter as your relationships and communication within those relationships can be passionate and more direct again. This is decisiveness in communication, fiery, quick, clear, and concise, self-expression at an all-time high. We talked about it before in last month, so you can always go back and listen to that, but it's just that continuation of that Mercury and Aries energy. Then we have April 29th, Venus enters Taurus. Having Venus lining up with your sun sign and in Taurus will allow self-care practices to feel extra indulgent right now. You can use this energy to work on improving stability and security in relationships. It's the energy of loyalty, commitment, safety, security, and sensuality. Love languages of physical touch and gift giving will thrive. It'll thrive so much in this energy. And Venus is at home in Taurus. So this energy, and your feminine energy in particular, can really soar. And then just the next day, on April 30th, we have Mars entering Aries, and Mars is at home in Aries. So your natural drive and action will be especially strong during this time. With both your masculine and feminine energetic planets in signs that they feel at home in, this should feel amazing, especially energetically. If you've been feeling low, if you've been feeling overwhelmed, if you've been feeling heavy or anything negative like that, during this time, you're probably sitting in a wounded feminine or masculine energy. So you should look at kind of starting to heal that a little bit, because you should feel a lift right now. It should feel like, woo, finally, here it is. My energies are aligned. Both my masculine and my feminine are at home. So if you are feeling low, it's time to go inwards and see where you're sitting. That's a little bit wounded. You can get so much done and create so much during this transit and just feel really at ease with your energy. I'm really excited about this one. I need it. Right before filming this, I had a breakdown. And so I'm like looking at this being like, I need this. So that is the last transit of April. We have a lot of transits in April, but we have a lot of heavy ones at the beginning, a lot of like big shifts, big change, all of that. But then we should be easing out of it end of April, going into May. It should be calming down. We should be feeling at ease at home with ourselves. That was a lot. April has a lot of energy, so we're going to hand it over to Sophie now to tell you what you can really do with it. But I really would encourage you to come back to this podcast throughout the month, maybe once a week, whenever you're feeling out of alignment with your energy, to remind yourself of what's really going on and how you can start to step into that alignment again. But take it away, Sophie.
Amazing. So I just want us all just to take a deep breath. That's what I like to do after the girls have shared their forecast. So I just want us all just to take a collective breath. Like sigh out, just grounding into the space, grounding into all of the wisdom, the guidance, and the information that the girls just gave you there. And like Maggie said, like, please come back to this and listen to it throughout the month. And when you do feel out of alignment or you feel like a bit like overwhelmed with any of the energies, just to understand like, okay, where are we in the month? What actually is going on? Because especially with the intentions and the practices that I give, they are overarching. You know, I can't give a practice for every single transit and every single theme. It is just an overarching practice and intentions that I can give you. But the first thing I want you to do before if you're listening to this and it's like you've not even stepped into April yet, I think we're going to make sure that you get this just prior to April. So what I want you to do before you even step into April is write a short letter or a short note from your soul self, from your heart-centered self to your ego, and tell your ego what it is your desire, what is it you're calling in, like what is it that you're working towards before we hit these transits that are going to kind of fire up your ego and make you kind of doubt yourself. I want you to write a letter to your ego right now. Just tell your ego, like, it's okay, like you can be loud. Like, I know it's not true. We know it's not true, but you can be loud. I will be here. I will be listening. But this is what we are working towards. This is what we're calling in. This is what is in deep alignment with us. And no matter how heavy, how overwhelming the energies can get, this is locked in. Don't worry. So I want you to do that before we go any further. And when your ego is loud, come back to that letter, come back to that note, listen to that, read that note, allow your ego to read it. Maybe you hold it into your chest and breathe that into your body, breathe it into your heart center when your ego is loud. And like Maggie said, the kind of start of April is not the best time to be communicating because the Mercury's in retrograde. So communication may be a bit kind of disconnected there. So maybe it is just coming back and reading that letter, allowing yourself to breathe it in. And then when Mercury retrograde ends, I invite you to take this practice. It's something I share with my clients. I have it in my membership. It's something that I do. I led a workshop yesterday, actually, when we're recording this, and I took people through that live, and really either have a kind of embodied conversation with your fear or with your ego, or even if it is like with your heart's vision, you know, and have it there and actually have like an open conversation with your ego or with your fear when it does arise and when it is loud. But I do obviously encourage you to do that once we're out of that transit and there's more space and that energy is there to encourage you to communicate with your fear. Like, what is your fear asking you? What does it need? And can you give it a little bit of attention and nurturing? So for the first half of April, when that ego is loud, when that fear is loud, I just want you to read and sink into that note and just hold it into you and just breathe it into you and be kind and compassionate and know that this isn't true. And when we do end that transit, take this embodiment practice to speak to your ego, have it sit next to you, have it there with you, and just like let it speak, let it be heard, let it share what it needs, and you have that open conversation and you can speak back to it and kind of go back for a few times and let any shifts happen, let any clarity come through, let any healing happen in that conversation with your fear and with your ego as you step into these creative ideas, these new opportunities that are coming forward, because that's something that both Karlie and Maggie spoke about, that this month is going to bring in creativity, it's going to bring in ideas, it's going to bring in opportunity, it's going to bring in energy to step into your desire, step into whatever it is that you have been working towards, or this new opportunity and that energy of determination. So I want you to take these prompts with you of what creative ideas are coming through for me right now? Or are they coming through? Like, what ideas are coming through me right now? And what is one thing I can do each day to begin stepping into these ideas, to begin to stepping into these projects or opportunities? Okay, especially because we have this energy of like starting to take that action and not allow your fear to stop you, or that ego that's loud to control you and hold you back. What's one thing, one small thing each day you can do to continue stepping into those ideas, to continue stepping into those opportunities? Okay. And some mantras I have for you, and then I've got another little somatic practice, because we're loving the somatic practices over here. So I want you to write these mantras. We will put them in the show notes as well, but we gotta love a little mantra here. And with these mantras, I want you to pick which one really resonates with you, and I want you to tap this mantra onto your body, wherever you feel your fear lies or lives within your body. Like each day when you wake up, like where does that fear lie? And I want you to breathe into that fear within your body, and I want you to tap into these mantras. Tap these mantras into your body, okay? So the first one we've got is, I am a creative life force, and it is safe for me to step into this energy. I am a creative life force, and it is safe for me to step into this energy. I open myself up to creative ideas and opportunities, and I'm committed to liberate the fear that may stop me from stepping into them all. And the next one is, it is safe for me to step into my creative ideas and energy and let go of any fears getting in the way. And the last one is, I can take determined and focused action and still be in my magnetism, flow, and feminine energy. Because I heard from both of the kind of readings that we're going to be stepping into more action, into these ideas, but it's important to have that balanced energy. So taking this mantra and this new belief and tap it into your body that you can take determined, focused, hard-working energy, but you can still be in your magnetism, you can still be in your flow, you can still have an open heart, okay? And in saying that, the last practice I really want to give you guys is I'm going to share in the show notes this song, and I want you to dance to this song, even if it is when you feel your energies are out of balance and you feel maybe you're slipping on the more masculine side or the more feminine side. I want you to take this song, it's called Work Ethic, but I want you to take it, and each day or whenever that you feel out of balance with your energy, I want you to lean into this energy of ideas and hard work and balance and creativity, and really allow yourself to move with this energy. Like, how does this empowered, expanded, balanced version of you express themselves through their body and through their movement with this song? So like this song, it is like a kind of mantra song, and it has got mantras of hard working, but I want you to infuse this like feminine energy expressed self through these beliefs, through these kind of more like empowering masculine led beliefs, okay? And get your body and your energy in the state of balanced and feminine masculine energy. Allow your body to feel empowered to take that action from a state of magnetism, from a state of openness, from a state of like just flow and excitement. But yeah, that was quite a lot. I hope that they all resonated. But yeah, we'll put them in the show notes. And if obviously, please come back and listen to this episode as you go throughout the month and take what resonates, leave what doesn't. And if you have any other practices that you like had ideas with, please share them to your Instagram stories and tag us in it, or share or email us at divinegossipgirls@gmail.com and let us know what kind of practices you're doing. These are just suggestions and ideas, and you can even take the intentions and the practices and the mantras I give you for the rest of your life. You don't even need to use them for April. These are just things that you can work with. And obviously there's different things that happen throughout the month that they spoke about that maybe these practices don't align so deeply with, because obviously I just want to make it overarching. But if there's things that you want to tap into or you feel will resonate most or align better, then please lean into them. But please take these mantras, take these prompts, take these practices, have fun with them, and just know that you've got yourself. When your ego arises, go back to that note that you wrote at the very, very beginning of April, or just the end of March, and just allow your ego to be like, okay, you can scream, you can shout, but this is the actual truth. This is the truth. And when that transit ends, I want us to lean into communicating more with our ego, communicating more with our heart's desires, leaning deeper into our heart's desires, and kind of balancing that feminine and masculine energy through the practices that I gave and the mantras that I've given as well. And even taking the mantra of like, I am committed to tapping into my heart's desires and letting them guide the way, because I know that that's something that the girls also spoke about, of you're going to be invited to like really, there's going to be an element of like maybe uncertainty or having to really lean into your strength and choose yourself, choose your heart's desires. So really knowing that you're worthy of that, and really committing to yourself to saying yes to yourself, saying yes to those heart's desires that you wrote in that note at the very, very beginning, and always coming back to that. But yeah, I hope that you enjoyed this April forecast. Please save this, send it to a friend that you think would enjoy working with these energies, working with the transits, working with the energetic forecast and these intentions. And please rate this podcast if you haven't already. Leave a little review. Let us know, even like when you're doing your practices or whenever you're tapping your mantras on each morning, take a photo, put it on your Instagram and tag the three of us in it at I am at _shine with Sophie. Karlie is at Rise with Karlie, and Maggie is at Spring Loon Oracle. Tag us in it. We want to know who's with us, who is joining the roller coaster each month with our forecast. And yeah, we will see you next week for another episode. Bye.